Instead of essentially trying to cover the whole world in bubble wrap, it would be a lot easier just to put on shoes. You can't control how this outside world functions, what it does, what happens. All you can control is your reaction to it and your actions. This is something that Marcus reminds himself over and over and over again. He says, don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Sometimes it makes you feel angry to hear something like that because you're like, but this guy hit my car and it's his fault. Okay, sure, that happened. But now what do you do about it? Do you get angry? Do you yell? Do you lose control? Or do you take the next smallest step? Do you move forward? People are weird. The world is shitty sometimes. These things happen. Shit happens, as Forrest would say. He says, if you've seen the present, then you've seen everything. History, over and over and over again, has proven to repeat itself in different amazing and terrifying ways. And yet every time something weird or bad or unexpected happens, we're surprised. What, are flights delayed? These Ubers are on surge pricing? Chipotle's out of guac again? One of my favorite quotes from him is, enough of this wretched, whining monkey life. What's the matter? Is any of this new? That's a quote. He says, what is outside my mind means nothing to it. Easy thing to say, hard thing to practice. It's similar to what the writer and psychiatrist Viktor Frankl said. Learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Because wow, the world can really test you sometimes. But as Euripides said, why should we feel anger at the world? As if the world would notice. But we get wrapped up in it. These happenings. The comedian Jacqueline Novak said, as for me, family history suggests I possess both the magic genes and the generations of dysfunctional behavior to support their expression. I don't know. We can go back and forth with this chicken or the egg theory about whether chemicals are the issue with mental health or external factors are the issue with mental health, or if it's a mixture of both. I don't know the answer. And scientists, they don't know the answer either. Ad copy will tell you that they know the answer, but they don't. We don't know enough about the brain yet. But what I do know is that when I take agency over how I feel and what I do and the choices that are in my control, I feel a of a lot better. There are still hard days, and there are still hard times and hard situations, or situations that I see as difficult. But when I give myself the power to act on them, it's a completely different feeling. I'm not stuck in this chemically induced coma, this hole of inherited genes that leaves me without any option except to just feel sad. I'm not stuck in that place anymore. I have a stick to get out. I have a rope. I have some stakes. I have some rock climbing shoes. Might get bumpy in there, but woo, I'm climbing. What if I'm not inherently damaged? What if? Maybe I am, I don't know. But what if I'm not? What if my behavior was the issue, or my state of mind, or my perspective? This might make me sound like some sort of weird self-help guru, but what if? What if? The awesome book Lost Connections by Johann Hari talks a lot about this, about agency versus genetic heritage. You can disagree with it, that's fine. Nobody knows. And like most things, it probably comes down to a mix of nature and nurture, environment versus genetics. But at least when you come at it from the angle of agency, things can feel more hopeful. You're not just on an antidepressant or multiple antidepressants, a merry-go-round of chemicals that change how you feel, and not necessarily in a good way or an expected way or a measured way. This sounds like I'm making an argument against antidepressants. I'm not. I think you should use every tool in the toolbox to keep yourself alive. And maybe have a little fun along the way. Maybe not meth, but I was on Zoloft for, 12 years, I think it was. SSRIs and other antidepressants are extremely personal. and your reaction and experience with them is also extremely personal. Okay, now that we went down that fucking weird rabbit hole, let's come back to 2,000 years ago when their only medicine was corn and hay. Oh, you chopped off your arm. Let's rub some bacon grease on it. That's definitely not a Roman accent. It just turned into Game of Thrones Cockney.
The king in the north!
Really, all I'm trying to say is if it's just chemicals, if the reason why we're sad is chemicals, then we're stuck with it. And that could be the case. But if my actions can change the chemicals, then a whole world of freedom opens up. I don't know, man. I don't have the budget of Pfizer or the brain of Einstein. I'm just thinking about this stuff and hoping for a path forward for all of us.